tuned, because this is about to get hot.
Why should a man be responsible? And I know it. Why should a man be responsible? Why do a man have to pay child support if you find out that this is this child's dad and he has a job? Why do that man have to pay child support? Why should he? Some women say, well, it don't matter. We've been doing it all this time anyway. We've been raising our kids. We've been raising my child. I've been raising my children and raising my child anyway on my own. I don't need a man to do that. But you're missing the point. You are missing the effects. You are missing the effects that it has on the child. That's what I'm saying. Things are getting messed up here. See, there's a quote that I love to use from Jurassic Park. Goldman, whatever his name is, in there. He said, you were so focused on the fact that you could, you never stopped and thought if you should. My grandma says that a lot. So anyway, what got me with that is, yes, you can be a single mother, raise your child on your own, do all those things, right? Brag about it. Ooh, yes. So you showed them men that you can do it on your own. But what you're not thinking about is who's being affected. That child. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's getting missed. When things like that happen, it's not about you. It's not about you, women. When it comes to that, it's about that child. Ask yourself, how's my child being affected by not having a father? And if you say, oh, my son is fine, he got everything don't you sit there and lie like that. No, don't do that. I came up in a single parent home. I grew up with a bunch of friends, buddies. Godly, almost all of us. None of our daddies was in the house. Nobody asking us questions how it affected us. But all the women, hey, I raised my sons on my own. I did this on my own. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You hustled at it. You did your thing. You worked a job. You maybe worked 2 jobs. You did all that. But what's not being asked is, son, what type of effect is this having on you by not having your dad here? That's what's not being asked. Don't make it easy for these men. Don't sit there because that's you. I don't need a man to do this. I don't need a man to do that. Yes, you don't need a man to help you raise your child. You don't need a man. Don't get me wrong on that. Yes, I'm quoting a woman saying, I don't need a man to help me raise my child. I can raise my child on my own. Feeding your child, giving them clothes and all that is all great. But raising a child is more than just physical attributes. Yes, it's more than just helping what you can do for them physically. We're talking emotionally. We're talking physically. We're talking demeanor wise. We're talking relationship wise. There's people out there that I know that the mothers have bashed the father. Your daddy ain't nothing. He don't do nothing for y'all. He don't do nothing. But guess what? Ask that child. That child still want to be with their daddy. I'm not saying like live with them or nothing like that, because nobody want to live with their dad. No, I'm just joking. But no. But that child still desires to be around their father. No matter how bad you talked about them, they still want to be around their father. You can say that your daddy ain't this, he ain't that, he ain't this, all he does is this, he da. But still that child, I want to be with my daddy. You want to be with your daddy after I told your daddy about all this stuff that you want to be around him after I told you all the stuff that he's done. Because they still want their dad. They want their relationship. And it'd be vice versa. It'd be the other way around too. If it was like that with the mothers. The child is mommy. It's the relationship. It's the relationship. That's what people's been missing. That's what this whole thing that I've been going all over this about, the men and women thing. I'm breaking all these metaphors down and all these things like that to show y'all that when it all comes down to it, it's relationship. You raising your child on your own has nothing really to do with the fact that you want to go around bragging. I raised my son on my own. I'm a single mother. We can do it. Rise up. We can raise the kids on our own. But like I said, what's not being asked is the effects that it's having on that child. I came from a single parent home. And I'm saying this not because I'm on this one side, but I'm saying it because of the men that I've talked to who came from single parent homes too. Women, hats off to y'all. Hats off to you if you're a single woman, you taking care of your children, you raising your children the best you can. But when it all comes down to it, I don't care what nobody tells you. A woman cannot teach you how to be a man. Don't sit there and lie to yourself like that. Don't sit there and lie to yourself like that. God, my wife watch on YouTube. She watched this show called Paternity Court. Please go on there and watch some of them episodes. Go on there and see the real deal. Women Men, grown men and women on there crying like babies. Some of these men and women, most of these men and women on there, they are grown. Some of them are married, got their own children. They are on there getting paternity courts to men that are in their 60s and 70s, and here they are in their 30s and 40s. Just want to know if this is my dad. And you see these grown men and women on there crying, saying all these things that have been missed out, or all these things, these men on there saying, man, I didn't know how to be a father. I had to turn to the streets to find my fatherhood in gangsters. I had to turn to this to find my fatherhood in this. And thank God, in the beginning for me, it was the same way. I was turning to older cousins, you know, on the streets and all that to, you know, for fatherhood. I only used to call it fathership, whatever like that. But then, thank God, by the grace of God, I end up going into church, and then the men in the church all kind of stepped up to be a certain thing that I needed out of these men to be father figures in my life. I always say things like, it seemed like when I decided to do the right thing, God placed right men in my life. Coach Harback was in my life during track and field, but he was also there. He wasn't saying this is how you be a man, but the things that he would say to me, the things that he would do with me was teaching me how to be a man. I ended up getting into taekwondo. Earl Taylor ended up showing me things of how to be a man for a brief moment. Then the after school program that we got in, Keith Anderson is the head of this after school program called Homework Hangout. Things that he would sit down and talk to us about, teach us, was showing me how to be a man. Notice I said showing me, not telling me, showing me how to be a man. I couldn't get that from my mom. Next thing you know, Dr. Beckmann comes along, talk to me, conversating with me, showing me how to be a man, how he is with his family, how he is with his girls, love his girls to death. Keith Anderson, he loved his girls to death. Coach Harback loved his 3 sons to death. He showed me. He didn't sit there and say, Tom, look how I am with my son. None of those men said, look how I am with my children. Look how I am with my child. Keith showed us how he was with his kids. With his girls, nuh-uh. He would break things down to them, and if he needed to whoop them, he would whoop them. Dr. Beckman, same way. He did not fake nothing. They showed me how to be a man. They didn't sit there and tell me. They showed me. So my point is saying on this, most men, almost all the men that I talk to, not one man said, well, man, you know what? My mama did show me how to be a man. No, because your mom is a woman. Your mom can try to show you and teach you things of what you should and should not do, or at the same time, your mom can tell you how to be a man based off of the bad relationship she's might have had with men, which is cool because my mom was the same way. She told us and taught us about how we should be with women, and the only thing we can do is base it off of the relationships that mom might have had with with our dad. You know, all you can do is try to guide your son in the right way on how to be with a woman based off of how a bad man might have been to you. But what's not being pushed and what's not being thrown out there is putting these young men in front of good men, good mentors. And I hate to say it, men have run away from those things like that. It's sad. I mean, I do what I can to my best, to my ability, to help as many children as I possibly can. If they want it, I'm there for them. If they don't want it, I'm not going to waste my time with it, because there are some people out there that's like that. Some young teens, they'll sit there and they want to listen. They want to get it from you. I'm there with you 100%. Then you got some that they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to do it. So you just don't even waste your time with it. Now, all that is said to come down to this: relationship. It has nothing to do with your child saying, I want to be with my daddy, even though my mom, no, what they're asking for, what they're wanting. Relationship. Okay? Okay. Now, the Bible talks about things in here, how it says a man to take care of not of his family is worse than an imbecile. Okay? So that's going to be between them and God. These men that have left you women with those children, do the best you can. But I urge you, I'm telling you just from experience, find somewhere that have strong male mentors for your children. I don't care if it's your son or your daughter. Put your sons in front of these strong male role models so your sons can learn and see what it's like to be a strong, successful, loving, caring man. Put your daughters in front of those strong, successful, loving, caring men so those girls can one day see what type of men they are going to want, and they ain't gonna take nothing less than that. Nothing less than that.